In the headlines, PDP Northern Elders endorse Saraki Bala Mohammed as consensus candidates of the party. 9 injured as another explosion hits Taraba. Alafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, dies at 83. And on the foreign scene, Israel closes crossing to Gazans after new rockets attack. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Ibrahim Yusuf. Now, ahead of the 2023 presidential election, the Northern Elders Forum has endorsed former Senate President Bukola Saraki and Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State. The duo, alongside Governor Aminu Tambuwal of Sokoto and Muhammad Hayatuddin, had worked to produce a consensus candidate from the region. According to Professor Ango Abdullahi, head of the committee which carried out a 3-phase screening from where Saraki and Mohammed emerged, the exercise was thorough. In the report of the committee cited by Daily Trust, Saraki and Mohammed had 10 votes each, while Tambuwal trailed with 7 votes, followed by Hayatuddin, who had 5 votes. One of the elders reportedly deferred his votes on the grounds of continuing consultations with traditional rulers and other major stakeholders. 2 members were said not to have cast their second ballots, bringing the total ballot to 32 votes out of 36. And as political activities heat up, many Nigerians are not comfortable with the array of aspirants that have joined the race to replace President Muhammadu Buhari in 2023. In fact, some youths looking back with nostalgia at the years before the present administration came to power are attempting to enlist former President Goodluck Jonathan into the race. The youth led a peaceful demonstration to the former leader's office on Friday, where they intimated him of their agenda. The report.
These youths are on a mission. Their mission has a destination. The destination is the seat of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2023. On the way, they are stopping by to persuade the former president to join the race to occupy the highest seat in the land.
We need him back to come and take us from this hustle. We need him back to come and regulate the market women's suffering. We need him back to come and correct the ASU strike. Mr. Jonathan, when he was there as a president, he sat with the ASU representative for complete 6 hours. But today, our youths, our children, our brothers, they are home, languishing and going into vices of crime here and there.
There's nobody else in Nigeria that can do that, except Goodluck. We can understand when Goodluck was the president in Nigeria. When Goodluck was the president in Nigeria, the economy was moving forward. The economy was moving. We could have steady power supply. The pump price was stable.
Former President Jonathan is not too surprised to see these Nigerians, perhaps because there have been clandestine moves to enlist him in the race.
Yes, we are calling me to come and declare for the next election. I cannot tell you I'm declaring. The political process is ongoing. Just watch out.
But his words of advice might suggest something may be in the offing.
The key role he must play is to pray that Nigeria gets somebody that carries the young people along, somebody that can also work very hard to see that some of the problems you raise are dealt with by the government. And I believe collectively we'll work together.
This is the first open attempt to conscript the former leader into the 2023 presidential race. As there is no smoke without fire, his words are instructive. Watch out. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And the coalition of clubs, associations and professional bodies in Borno State has called on the All Progressive Congress APC to consider selling only one gubernatorial form in the state. This, it believes, will ensure that Governor returns to continue his transformational leadership in the state. The group, at a press briefing in Maiduguri, said it wants Governor Zulum to seek another term in office in the 2023 election with no opposition. It revealed that it has already bought the expression of interest and nomination form for the governor, noting that if the party considered its position, there will be no need to sell another form to another candidate. The spokesman of the coalition, Umar Shatima, said their appeal for the governor to contest is a unanimous decision based on their satisfaction with the present government's achievements in the state. Meanwhile, a federal high court in Abuja has sacked Yakubu Dogara from the House of Representatives and declared his seat vacant. Dogara, who represents Ogoro Das Federal Constituency of Bauchi State, was Speaker of the House of Representatives between 2015 and 2019. The judge, D.U. Okorowo, on Friday ruled that Mr. Dogara's defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressive Congress, APC, was wrong and meant he should vacate the legislative seat. Dogara defected to the APC after winning his re-election under the PDP in 2019. His frosty relationship with his state governor, Bala Mohammed, was one of the main reasons he ditched the PDP, which he joined less than 5 years ago. Dogara had only on July 24, 2020, dumped the PDP and returned to his former party, the APC. Now to security matters, where 3 days after members of the Islamic State West Africa province, ISWAP, bombed a bar in Taraba, the state has recorded yet another explosion. In the fresh explosion, which occurred on Friday night, 9 people reportedly sustained injuries. The explosion, it was gathered, occurred at Nukai area, which shares a boundary with Ardokola, local government area of the state. Details of the explosion are still sketchy, but it reportedly occurred close to a local beer joint. Daily Trust gathered that the explosion left cracks on the walls of buildings within the site. Spokesman of Taraba Police Command, DSP Abdullahi Usman, confirmed the incident, saying 9 people sustained injuries. Meanwhile, hoodlums suspected to be bandits have attacked Adavi police station in Kogi State in early hours of Saturday, killing 3 policemen. The Kogi State Police Public Relations Officer, SP William Oviaya, disclosed this to Daily Trust in Lokoja in a statement on Saturday. He added that the command lost 3 of its officers during the gun duel, while the hoodlums fled with gunshot wounds as they could not get access to the station. He said the State Commissioner of Police, CP Edward Egbuka, has deployed a team of tactical operatives to the area to restore normalcy, while trailing the hoodlums with a view to apprehending and bringing them to book. The State Police Command called on people of Adavi and the adjoining communities to be on the lookout and report anybody seen with bullet wounds to the police or any other security forces nearest to them. President Muhammadu Buhari says despite the huge funds spent to equip the military, efforts at fighting insecurity are being frustrated by Nigerians who provide intelligence to terrorists. The president is insisting that traditional and religious leaders have a key role to play in providing intelligence about the movement and activities in their own domains. The report.
Moving Nigeria forward is a collective responsibility that requires the contribution of leaders at all levels. This sounds like a catchphrase developed by the National Orientation Agency. But it is, in fact, words of President Buhari to religious leaders and traditional rulers who broke fast with him on Thursday night.
We have acquired advanced equipment for our armed forces and the police to strengthen their capacity to confront terrorism and banditry. We have made adequate budgetary allocations for security. Whatever the security agencies request, I made it available to them immediately. But insecurity is a worldwide phenomenon. The cure and the answer is for all sections of society to do their bit and confront the criminals head-on.
The president finds it strange that whole villages are being wiped out because of unpatriotic elements living in these villages.
It is sad to say that these murderous criminals are succeeding because they have supporters and collaborators that help them with intelligence. Those aiding and abetting terrorists are helping to destroy their own communities. This situation is frustrating government's efforts to tackle this problem.
Though the traditional rulers and religious leaders accept their responsibilities as they are closer to the people, they are also challenging government at the federal level to promote unity.
We want to implore our leaders to continue to bring such events like this to the fore and for the entire country to see the strength in our diversity. If you look at this gathering now, you can see a proper blend and a proper mix of every corner of our dear country.
Gatherings like this are only valuable if actors invited can speak truth to power, and if the truths spoken are acted upon without bias. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
And on a sad note, the Alafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, has died at the age of 83. Details of his death are sketchy, but Daily Trust gathered that the prominent Yoruba monarch died at the Afe Babalola University Teaching Hospital, Ado Ekiti, Ekiti State Capital, late Friday. He was said to have gone for a routine medical checkup. His remains, according to a source, were moved to Oyo town early on Saturday. His first son, Prince Tunde Adeyemi, and his other siblings reportedly received it at the Idigba area of the town. The head of the Oyo Mesi, Basharun of Oyo, High Chief Yusuf Akinade Ayola, is expected to take over the affairs of the palace, pending the appointment of a new Alafin. The governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, is expected to be briefed officially on Saturday morning by the Basharun. You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still to come after the break, how rainy season impacts waterborne diseases. This and more after the break. Do stay with us.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now look at our top stories. Now, we told you that ahead of the 2023 presidential election, the Northern Elders Forum has endorsed former Senate President Bukola Saraki and Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State. And 3 days after members of the Islamic State in West Africa province bombed a bar in Taraba, the state has recorded yet another explosion. And now moving on to other stories. The Nigeria Police Force has declared 12 suspects wanted for alleged conspiracy, murder, armed robbery, acts of terrorism, kidnapping, cultism, and unlawful possession of firearms. The suspects were said to have been involved in housebreaking, burglary, malicious damage, and conduct likely to cause a breach of public peace in Isu Anyocha, Oka North local government area of Anambra State. The acting force spokesman, Muyiwa Adejobi, in a statement on Friday, identified the men as Edward Okoye, aka Stone, Donatus Okeke, Onyemazi Ngini, Onyebuchi Okoye, Nonso Ebo, Chukuka, and Chukujeku Anayako. Others are Chuku Ilodigwe, Chinedu Okoye, Nonso Obina, Cosmos Okonko, and Chukujeku Okoye. The statement explained that Edward had, in conjunction with others, shot one Ifeanyi Anazova, aka Ichafu, and one Chukwuebuka Amodo, aka Mutum, dead at a burial in Umuzocha Town Hall, Oka, south of Anambra State, on January 19, 2019. They were said to have beheaded them and burnt their bodies beyond recognition. And some Fulanis have lamented the faulty generalization and labeling of Fulanis as bandits. This follows the reported case of brutality and manhandling of some Fulanis who were mistaken for bandits in Kakura community of Chukun local government area in Kaduna State. Fatima Saleh has more.
President of Yobe Fulbe Global and Development Initiative, Halima Usman Yoman, expressed dissatisfaction with the assumption in many cultures that every bandit is a Fulani.
In a situation where you don't meet somebody with gun, you don't meet somebody with knife, you don't meet somebody with any dangerous weapons with him, and then you have brought a van, you did not ask somebody to enter and he refused. So the way they were throwing them into the van, we were not happy about it. And you know we are in fasting period. You can imagine if a human being is being threatened like that.
It has become difficult for them to move and associate with other people in and around the country due to growing suspicion that they constitute a threat to people and communities.
The challenges we are facing now, you as a Fulani woman or whatever, once you are a Fulani, you are scared of even moving within the country because of the bad name they have already given us, while we are not even that name they are giving us. Everybody knows Fulanis. If you live with Fulani or you work with them, you know that we are lovers of peace. We don't have a problem. We don't like crisis.
She called on the government and members of the public to discontinue any claim of people referring to them as bandits, unless proven otherwise. Fatima Saleh Laden, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And the Kaduna State government has again assured that it is working to ensure a clean and healthy environment for all. The assurance comes as the world celebrates the 2022 International World Earth Day. Fatima Saleh Laden once again has more.
This year marks the 52nd World Earth Day with the theme, Invest in Our Planet. The day is celebrated by more than 1 billion people with the aim of protecting the planet from pollution and deforestation. To mark the day, government, stakeholders and volunteers participated in a clean-up exercise to make the environment cleaner and healthier. In a tour of a cleared dump site, Administrator of Kaduna Capital City Hafiz Bayero expressed disappointment at the indiscriminate dumping of refuse at the site barely a week after it was cleared.
We've tried as much as possible in the last 2 or 3 months to clean them up completely and reclaim these areas because they are not dump sites. This, in fact, as you can see, we're by the rail line. We have cleared it completely, but today, a week later, we have come back to see that whatever work we did months ago, we now have to do it again because the dirt is back.
He said the state government is considering the possibility of reintroducing the monthly sanitation exercise as well as banning of plastics in the state.
We are likely to look into bringing back the possibility of weekly, the monthly environmental sanitation. We'll do it in such a manner that does not hinder movement. People are allowed to start very early. From 6 a.m. we can start, and hopefully by 8:30 we are done to allow people to go about their businesses.
The first Earth Day was celebrated in the United States when a U.S. senator organized a national demonstration against the deteriorating environment in 1970. Now, it is celebrated in more than 192 countries across the world. Fatima Saleh Laden, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And as the rainy season approaches in parts of the country, some waterborne diseases are bound to spread due to poor environmental sanitation, flooding and washing of human waste that come through open defecation into water sources. These pose a real danger to human health as people battle to stay healthy during the wet season. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu has more.
Waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid fever are the commonest in communities where unsafe water is consumed. This calls for serious intervention to curb the spread and reduce number of affected people.
The first thing we need to improve our environmental sanitation, especially open dumping. I think Nigeria should have the highest incident of open dumping. So we have to stop that one. Then proper sewage and refuse disposal system. We have to have them. Then all these people, all these suburbs, the villages, they have to have proper means of disposing their sewage, especially the toilets and co. Then it must be very, very far from the consumption and water consumption. They are well, and then if governments should be able to provide potable water like borehole, and then we have to public enlightenment. Some people does not know the danger and the challenges open dumping can actually pose on our community. Because in Nigeria now we are facing two burdens. We are facing the burden of infectious disease, and we are facing the burden of chronic illnesses.
Other measures that can help address this public health challenge is to ensure a clean environment and safe drinking water.
Well, as for individuals, is to keep our environment clean as much as we can. But in a place whereby it's like a slum, you understand, where the environment is, you know what a slum is, where the place is not clean. What they can do is community work.
What we do is you take care of your water, you boil them. Before you consume your water, you have to buy a big pot, because now there is nothing you can do. There is all over is borehole. And for you to prevent from all this sickness, you boil your water and allow it to settle down before you put it in fridge or you put it in rubber. So that is number one. And two, you cannot take whatever you see outside, mostly fruit, without washing them with salt.
It is hoped that with the right information on hygiene, communities will become safer and healthier as the spread of waterborne diseases reduces. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And the federal government has approved the reopening of 4 land borders which were shut down in August 2019. Recall that the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration closed major borders as part of efforts to curtail smuggling and boost local production of rice and other products. The government, however, on December 16, 2020, approved the opening of some of the borders, including Mfum, Seme, Leila and Maigatari borders. Similarly, a circular issued on Friday by the Deputy Controller General of the Customs Service, E.I. Edohe, said Idioroko border post in Ogun State, Kamba border post in Kebbi State, Jibia border post in Katsina and Ikom border post in Cross River State have been reopened. And now a quick look at the foreign scene, where Israel will close its only crossing for Palestinian workers coming from the Gaza Strip after it said 3 rockets were fired from the besieged territory as tensions continue to mount during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. The move, announced on Saturday, comes after the Israeli army accused Hamas, the armed group that rules the Gaza Strip, of firing 3 rockets into Israel late on Friday. One hit an open field inside Israel, while another fell inside the Palestinian territory. The Israeli army said without providing details of the third one. Earlier this week, the Israeli army said 4 rockets were launched from Gaza, but were intercepted by air defense systems. Israel carried out air raids in different areas of the Gaza Strip twice last week, with the Israeli army saying its fighter jets attacked military targets. And now for a look at sports, where there is uncertainty over the long-term future of Emmanuel Dennis at Watford, few months before the opening of the transfer window. According to the Boot Room, Newcastle United and West Ham United are keeping tabs on the Nigeria international in the event that Watford are relegated from the top flight. 6 matches to the end of the season, the Hornets find themselves in a relegation battle, sitting in 19th place with 22 points, 7 points from safety. Dennis has been one of the success stories in what has been a miserable season for Watford, topping the club's charts for both goals with 10 and 5 assists in the Premier League. Amid interest from other clubs in Italy and Spain, the Super Eagles striker is set to hold talks with Watford Chiefs at the end of the season, and his priority is to remain in the Premier League. It has been suggested that a bid of £30 million will be enough to tempt Watford into selling their number 25. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. Don't forget, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.